That's good. Alright, good evening. This is Jupiter Exile, and we're settling into a bit more Bloodborne, just after finishing up work for the day, but before I need to go in the evening to meet up for dinner. So I'm going to switch off to the Grey Wolf Cap. We're going to try a setup to deal with this boss. Let's see. Should be, I think, the old Hunter Garb here? No, there was something that was much higher. Is it the Ashen Hunter Garb? Yeah, it should be the Ashen Hunter Garb. Alright. So, yeah, I'm still wearing the same trousers. So I'm going to do one more shot at this boss, as is. Did a little bit of looking into him. He's still kind of a lame boss when you get down to it. Nothing more to say about that, really. So there's a couple setups. Yeah, going early for today, because I've got an obligation this afternoon, so I need to be ready to leave the house by about 6:15, so I'll be streaming up until about 6 or so. So I just wanted to get in a couple hours and try and take out the living failures, and maybe run around some other places. I did look into this boss a little bit to get the strat together, because I think the boss itself and the boss design is one of those guys that's kind of tedious to get the hang of. So we're going to try one run pretty normally. Whoops. Well, that wasn't the plan. Avoid that. So the thinking for this attempt is focus on the casters. He's using the dart attack. Are you a caster or a melee version? That's a caster, okay. This would have to be the other caster then. I'm going to run over to this other caster and fight him for a bit. The casters have fewer options in melee. So we're going to try and focus on them so that we don't have to worry about the same list of possible retaliatory actions. We have to worry about them doing the head slam. We can tell which ones are the casters pretty easily because they're not going to follow us. Be certain we're not getting hit. The casters can't really fire behind them in short order. Okay, we got one of them down. So that has prompted him to respawn right over here. Ouch. Okay, he turned around and killed us real fast. Okay, so that's like maybe getting back into the swing. There's another possibility we're going to look at, which is the Consumable Strategy. And kind of what it sounds like, the Consumable Strategy is where we use a bunch of consumables to roid up our damage, and we try and get the boss into a respawn loop. So we're going to head back to the Hunter's Dream. And I see that we're very low on blood vials. We might need to do a bit of farming before we put this into practice. This is also why I changed my armor when I first sat down, because we're going to be trying to exploit Beasthood to do more damage against the boss. Let's see. So, I need to check my bank over here. Check the storage. Pull out some Beast Blood pellets and bolt paper. We can also pull out Shaman Bone blades because those apparently work on this boss. So we're going to get bolt paper in position, as well as Shaman Bone blades. Apparently this can cause them to attack one another. It's, I think, the only boss that is actually vulnerable to this. And I'm going to use the Kin Cold Blood that I found earlier, as well as the Frenzied Cold Blood. And we'll quickly repair the weapon. It has only trivial damage. We're going to change the blood gems on the weapon so that the bolt gem is back out for the tempering damp. That'll allow us to use the bolt paper, because if we don't change that, we can't use bolt paper on a weapon that's already doing bolt damage. And then I'll spend the rest on restocking my blood vial so I don't have to go anywhere else. Alright, let's head back out to that same location. So I have not used Shaman Bone Blades before, so if we get to using those, that'll be something new to test. But if that works here, that could get me a lot of leeway to just kind of do what I want. We're going to run over to the boss. We'll have a little bit of a tenuous section at the start of the fight, and we may not be able to loop the boss fully, so we might have to adapt late in the fight. This is a very weird elevator button for some reason. It's pretty inconsistent. I'm going to try to send the elevator down after me. Yeah, there we go. Sounds like it went back, just in case. Head back up here. Okay. We're going to go in. We're going to use the bolt paper and the beast blood pellet right away. Okay, I need to avoid this. 5, 6. Good on that. Don't die. That got me. Alright. Yeah, we need to try and kill this first guy as fast as possible. I can try to make use of counters or backstabs to kill him faster. Ah, right. Elevator came down, as it was supposed to. Yeah, the trick about this is I have a very short supply of bolt paper and beast blood to try and get it done in this fashion. And if I can't get it done that way, I'm going to have to try and manage to do the fight the longer, more boring way. Okay. Bolt paper, beast blood, here we go. Okay, he's dead. That was pretty quick. And we get a new one to show up right over here. Messed up a bit with taking that spell. He dies pretty quick. And he should just kind of keep spawning here. I didn't get it, so I messed up the setup. Okay, we're about on the setup, I think. It's a little odd. This is about what we want. We want to keep killing on spawn. Okay, for this behavior, we're supposed to hide behind this tree. Sort of. I've clearly done it wrong. Okay. That's an attack they start doing once you get to the halfway point. It can be partially avoided if we're looping them correctly. But that's the basics of the strat. That's what we're trying to achieve. Of this looped spawn camping behavior. We can only really pull it off at this blood level 4 if we have our buffs active. So we've got a limited window to try and make that happen. I think that what I need to try to do is, if I have some oddity in their respawn cycles, I think I want to use the Shaman Bone Blades to try and compensate for that. I believe that the Shaman Bone Blade is a short-range melee attack item use. I'm not certain. I should probably test it on something else random before I go in. Oh well. I'm not going to fret about it yet. Okay, killed him fast. 4 attacks gets him down. I got killed by him immediately because I had to let up on him for a bit. It is difficult to get this loop to work because the caster will interfere with you. And I can't really do the loop on a different target. I need to be killing the same guy. I think I don't know how to make the caster uninvolved in this. But that attempt there was very close to the correct behavior. When I started avoiding the caster's attack, I just needed to play it a little safer and pivot my focus. Probably onto the caster at that point. Okay, I can try this about 7 times without having to refuel. Okay, first one's dead. Am I supposed to kill the caster as well? This is really ideal. My bolt paper ran out. Okay, stand behind the tree relative to this. Don't kill me. And that should be the boss. There we go. Simple boss. We've gotten the Astral Clock Tower key. Alright. I'm glad I got that before I ran out of stuff. Light it up. I only barely had to use the second bolt paper. And that's like a clip-worthy boss. That's pretty much textbook the way you want it to go. So here's Maria, eh? This is a really big hall. Is something to stop me from killing you? Wait, are you already dead? This is a corpse. Not such a corpse after all.
A corpse should be left well alone.
Is that so? I think that's news to me.
Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly.
A lot of people have been telling me that.
Only an honest death will kill you now. From your wild
We've got
curiosity.
more boss fights in this expansion than I was aware of. And then some. Oh, that straight up killed me. But it was a very delayed attack. Oh man, I kind of thought we would come in here and find some kind of waifish girl. Alright, well, we threw away 20,000 blood echoes, and it doesn't matter. We could get that in 5 minutes if we need. We can just go for this fight for a while. Yeah, I thought there were like 3 bosses in this expansion. It's like 5? Minimum? Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, she can step in pretty quick, which is, you know, pretty expected. I'm thinking we can probably counter and backstab her in certain setups. Once we figure out those setups, phase 1 should fall down like a house of cards. So we've got Lady Maria and Lawrence as the bosses we can work on right now. Lawrence is a moveset that's kind of like the Cleric Beast with explosions added. Explosions and fire and magma. Yeah, it's quite the step in. I'm also assuming locking onto her is correct. And I'm going to keep assuming that for now. I think regular damage will probably work fine. I think we're dealing about a little under 200 to her per hit. That's fine. I could switch gears to grinding on Lawrence instead, but the run to him is a lot longer. She changed her weapon. Okay, this is going to be tricky if she can just shoot me like that. which I expected might be the case, but I was really hoping it wouldn't be that stark. Okay, so we've got a mid-phase 1 transition where she starts broadening up her repertoire. Yeah, getting shot is going to be really tricky. This is also something I was dreading for one of the final bosses that's left, which is Hunter Gehrman. He can also just kind of shoot us. I ran out of stamina to keep that up. Ah, that step in. That's tough. So, if I was unlocked, I could roll back away and probably get out of some of this stuff. But while I'm locked on and doing a quick step, there's no way I can get out with that. But I can attack very quickly from a quick step, so it does hold up to its namesake. Yeah, these items aren't going to matter. I want to make sure I don't trigger retaliatory shooting too early or too often from her, because that'll be difficult to deal with. I can't play this out as just a dodge fest because I have a stamina limit and she doesn't. Between the two fights, I think Lawrence is going to be the easier one to figure out because he fights more like a monster, whereas this is just a person. No, don't do that. It's very rude of you. Oh, she got poised for the last bit of that attack. I was hoping I could stagger her out of it. She said no. I might have been able to shoot her out of it. Using bullets well is going to be a big part of this fight. And that's going to be very tricky. I'm wondering if she has a second phase that is similar to her first phase, or if it's more nightmarish and monstrous. I would really love to have a more monstrous boss fight. I just want her to drop her gun. I know I'm not going to be able to play around the gun super well. That attack has a really indistinct telegraph for what it is. So I'm doing 2 attacks and then backing off because that's a very typical rhythm for the game. I might need to try and press in more, I'm not sure. Or I might need to do 1 attack, wait, 1 attack, wait, or something like that with some possible gunshots between. It's tricky. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to see what kind of committal attack I can get her to do and see if I might be able to get a backstab off of it. Because if I can figure out a way to do that, I probably don't need to do that very many times. Okay. I don't have the room for a lot of mistakes, and I don't want to use too many blood vials right now. I just want to figure out like a basic pattern that works. She is not too... She's not too flighty. I might want to try Unlocked. I might need to try Unlocked so I can get a different dodge behavior. Usually for a humanoid enemy type, I'd rather stay locked on. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do gunshots on her if I'm not locked on. I couldn't get my gun out fast enough after that third swing. That was a mistake. This is going to be a fight where it's difficult to get to the starting line. We'll have to find out if she has some kind of behavior that is as easy to deal with as like some of Frida's actions. Okay, so that was a long sequence, and it started from her having both of her swords held like in parallel. There was a stance that started that, so I should know to recognize that stance for a really long sequence. I'm gonna have to learn the ending of her various sequences. Yeah, so when she goes into that, she won't care about me stepping to the left or right. But a lot of other attacks, it looks like I can step to the left or right and get a fine, like, clean opening. Let's see. Getting through a bit of afternoon coffee. Yeah, it's difficult for me to back out of that one too. I need to have a clean answer to that particular setup, which might be to shoot her when she's doing that kind of reared back charge attack. That charged double slash. It's either shoot her or if I were unlocked, I could dodge away, and I think I'd get out of the entire attack. Well, don't dodge into it, that's for sure. I'm trying to do more like left and right dodges to experiment with where that puts me relative to her attacks. But while you're locked on, it only recognizes 4 dodge directions. So if I'm tilted inwards, I can't dodge left and right. Locking on is actually really limiting in Dark Souls in general, but especially so in Bloodborne, where it changes your dodges to quick steps. There are certainly some useful cases for quick steps. Oh, that's a new thing to see. So she has armor for that entire attack. Huh. I think everybody in the Bloodborne universe is a low-key vampire. I mean, it's talking there about the pungent blood cocktail. They produce blood more than they do alcohol, and the blood is more intoxicating. I don't know if, I guess the Vile Bloods are extra vampires? I don't know how it works. Oh, that didn't counter? Wow, okay. So the other answer here is that you just have to dodge the big charge with the right delay. Loading screens, got some loading screens. Gotta make sure that Elden Ring is loaded to an SSD to minimize the loading screens for my many upcoming deaths. My computer right now has one SSD and one old school hard drive. I want to keep fighting for a bit longer. Ow. If the fight's too short, I can't learn. Well, that was a bit annoying of her to reply to my attack with two really quick hits there. Thinking that might be unique to me jumping in on that particular animation. Given the patterning here, I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of goes like Gascoigne. She's got a first phase where she uses the basic version of the weapon, then a second phase where she's using the trick version, and then she will maybe turn into a werewolf. Okay, low on blood vials. I haven't been spending them too fast. Yeah, I got locked into an attack. You don't have a lot of time to do everything for this fight, from what it seems. Stamina is a premium here. I have to be very conservative with it. If I could find out a proper time to get a backstab on this target, I would be pleased as punch. Let's try and see if it's possible on the initial attack. The very first exchange. No, not if she does that. Let's keep fighting. I tried to dodge out between those hits, but it didn't happen. I get the feeling that it would be very difficult to get a backstab off while locked on. Let's try some unlocked fighting and see how the first few exchanges go. I get the feeling it's going to be very difficult to keep track of the boss and keep them on screen if I'm staying locked on. Yeah, that's really tricky. Let's muck with it a bit more, though. It seems like dodging away will almost always be wrong. If I dodge away, she's pretty much just gonna, follow and keep swinging. But dodging past seems to give me a decent amount of time to do stuff. Because she's not turning around that quickly with most of these attacks. Except for, like, the point-blank turnaround of the charge double slash thing. If I could, like, strafe or walk out of the charge double slash, I'm assuming she can turn fully around while she's prepping that attack. But walking around it might be my best bet to get, like, a charged attack in. Oh, that killed. Wow. Killed immediately. That was working embarrassingly well until she shot me. And even then, I got shot because I tried to heal. Yeah, I think this loop of, like, slash her twice, walk past her is a pretty solid way of doing this early part of the fight. Feels that way anyhow, I mean. That wasn't hard, and it seemed to work. There might be a more elegant way of doing it. Some kind of more consistent setup than just dodging past her every time. Ouch. That's on me. That is also on me. Bad attempt. Sometimes we have bad attempts. That's okay. So I still wonder what is up with her appearing first as a corpse and then waking up. It seems as though the experiments going on beneath here were her responsibility. They seem to praise her as some kind of saint, but she's a hunter, clearly. I suppose one can be both. Oh, I stayed too close. I didn't dodge past her enough. And she turned on me. her to not have her back to the wall. I don't want to trade shots like that. It's bad for my health. Yeah, that's her long sequence. Ouch. Okay, I could not get the right angle of away from her. And I was using blood vials a bit more actively. Let me try and see if I can put the same concept into practice while locked onto her, because if I can do that while locked on, it's going to be way easier. I just think that locking on is going to not do these inputs correctly, or it's going to not take this stuff and it's going to be less consistent. I'll more consistently be looking at her, but she's going to more consistently put swords in me. Got the timing for that correct this time. Please come out of the corner. I was expecting a gunshot. I didn't know what to expect with the roll. Ah, that happens really fast. And I didn't want to dodge early. Now I know the roll leads to a gunshot. That's important. Yeah, so the loop is strong, but if the loop breaks, I don't know what to do. And, well, if the loop breaks, it's not that I don't know exactly what to do. It's difficult to reestablish the loop. And it's difficult to reestablish the loop. Her phase 2 has deadly, well, her second part of phase 1, whatever this is, her trick weapon phase, has deadly gunshots. And the problem with the strat is that it kind of naturally breaks if she winds up close to a wall, and she will dodge back and put herself in that spot. It still got me. Yeah, my usage of blood vials is a bit naturally high, especially with the locked on strat. There's just a lot of cases where she'll do something fast and get in a sly hit, and it won't kill me, but I can safely heal up. But that happens like 2 or 3 times a fight, and I'm using a lot of blood to get through. I want to learn more before taking a break to farm. Right. So I think it's a lot less consistent with the lock-on, but I still kind of want to try it because it's more comfortable. Ouch. Okay, she's back to her phase 1 behavior, or her non-trick behavior. Yeah, I'm assuming this is the point where she'll start to do both things and weave them together. That's new. Please no. Okay, I couldn't stun her out of what she was doing. And that is a much deadlier set of behaviors. I mean, well, it's deadlier, but she might actually be following some of the same attack timings. So I'd say that's cleanly the phase 2. That's the official phase 2. Alright, time to take a healing break. So most of the boss's actions have kind of the same safe spot for us. The problem is if the boss moves away and goes for some other setup. Because I don't really have an answer to that in a lot of cases. I can't just press in mindlessly. We're generally only going to get 1 or 2 hits after any given opening, but the openings and the attacks are going to fly fast. I still haven't found any kind of reliable setup for things. What's probably going to be most reliable is if there's some point in time where we can get a counter with an easy timing. And I haven't quite piloted that at this point. Got some blood vials there, up to the top of the stairs. Yeah, there's really no telling what she'll be able to do in this second phase. It looks to me like her attack range is just bigger, and that's going to be the name of the day. She might also be more damaging. But the cases where we're stepping around her based on timing, I think we can still do that. Okay, there's the blood from that. Wake up 1 pig. I'd like you to start charging, please. Okay. Oh. Here we go. I don't know why I haven't been standing by that tree before. It just occurred to me like, wait a minute. If I'm over here, I can avoid the rush for free. So I believe the pig is actually dead before that visceral, but I think you've got an opportunity during the death animation to trigger the visceral anyway. It's a nice quality of life thing. Do I have the right Carol runes on? I do. Cool. Come at me, bruh. If I could get him to run again. After that, I believe I want to hang out by his butt. There we go. That's a crazy angle to be able to trigger that from, but I shouldn't complain. I didn't show it on stream, but one of the Chalice dungeons also has one of these pigs as an actual boss. You can't loop him quite so easily, I don't think. I didn't kill him by looping, but I did just kind of summarily kill him. There wasn't much to it. I think he was the first guy in the Hintertombs. So I think I've mentioned on the stream before, but I'm going to go over it again. The Chalice dungeons are not an intended part of my complete routing for this run, but there is like a version of the run where you can consider the storied Chalice dungeons to be part of the run. You could consider them to be... It's like an expansion on all bosses. More blood vials. More blood. So that's an option if I, went through and finished those out. I've got the lower Hintertomb, which I haven't begun. And then over here, I've got the Tumerian Labyrinth, which I believe I'm on a boss right now. I think that boss is a pain in the neck. It's like 3 guys in a tight room. But if you can get to the very bottom, the last boss of the storied Chalice dungeons is Yarnum, Tumerian Queen, the namesake of the location of the game, and theoretically the progenitor of all of this madness. She's the toughest boss available in the baseline game. Humdrum. I wasn't sure if I had the time for that. Oh. Okay, that was ambiguous. Now she's going to do the phase transition. So can I tell how far out that goes? Not really. Can't tell. Okay, that wasn't lethal. Not immediately. That reminds me a lot of Frida. Ooh, there's the music swell. Okay, she had a really long delay on that attack, which is noteworthy. Ouch. Okay, that was huge. So, don't be in front of her for that. What was the direction on that? Yeah, as I had kind of assumed, her range is just really big here. Ah, I dodged into that too early. So thankfully, it looks like she doesn't have a gun for that phase. It also seems like there might be some good opportunities to get behind her and do a charge attack, because she's attacking a lot slower, which is very nice. I mean, if the boss is going to gain range, I should hope they have some kind of trade-off. I don't usually get that, but I can hope. I think I have a better idea of the range on her phase transition burst, and I might be able to use that to close the gap after she's done that. If I want to set her up into a looped behavior, I need to be able to get close. Oh, she had some correction there. There's her phase 2. I think it's about to here, tops. Those attacks with the weapon in trick mode are really big. They probably hit for insta-lethal. That started behind her, which is rude. Okay, I was still in hit stun and it didn't give me the roll. Bummer. That's a noteworthy attack to look out for, some kind of mega thrust. I feel like her health bar is just getting locked at that halfway point. That is disheartening. I know it's because I'm landing a lot fewer hits after she transitions. I really want to find an opportunity to get a charged attack in during her second phase when she starts fighting slower. I think my phase 1 feels like it's about where it needs to be. Did you think she would get me there? Oh, she got me there. Whoops. No thanks. The quick step is quite nice. Oh, that was on me. I could have given her some more space on that. Thankfully, she has a really nice long telegraph on her rifle shot. That could be set up in a much ruder way. I'm very glad that is a noteworthy telegraph with a reliable timing, unlike the gunshot from some of the early like PvP style hunters. Those guys use exactly the player animation for the like the shotgun blast, and there is almost no startup on that. Very little. Ah, that one's a little tricky. I should probably try to dodge it as soon as I can recognize it. Oh, whoops. Well, that was just a lousy attempt. How did the dodge? Okay, no. It isn't that it put me on the wrong side of her. It's that she kind of her slash corrected into me enough that the tail end of the slash worked, which means it was perhaps an early dodge. Yeah, the quick steps properties are a little bit weird because it kind of locks you relative to the target. It kind of swung me around her in a certain way. That was a slow reaction on my part. Oh. I had the time to get out of that. And that was also a slow reaction. Oh man, I'm losing it. Okay, I'm about my halfway point for the amount of time I have this evening. So we've got about another hour. nothing there. Not quite enough time. I'm going to experiment a bit more. If I can find chances to get criticals on her in the first phase, it's going to help me out a lot in the second phase. Because her second phase does appear to be slower. So if I'm very close to a critical on some kind of behavior for the first phase, I'm very likely to be able to do it in the second phase. And the question here is kind of, what can I strafe out of? And can I stop strafing early, or do I have to keep strafing continually? Let's see. That didn't critical. Okay. Whiffed. Okay, that's a solid no on the gunshot. And that kind of set me up in a bad way. Alright, so I might be able to get a charged attack off while she's doing that other thing. While she's doing bleh, 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 bleh. When I strafed the power double slash thing, which only involved like a very small step, like 2 steps to the side, while I was standing that close to her, and she whiffed. I think the proximity I was standing to her was the most important aspect of that. Because her character model, I think, is obligated to take like a step or 2 forward. Okay, that was junk. And then the direction it made me swing there after that quick step was also complete trash. Where did that come from? I don't know who else has their hands on this controller. If something completely random is going to happen, I would much rather have it happen in the first few seconds than way late in the fight. I'm going to have to deal later with it happening very late in the fight. Yeah, her thrusting attacks move her too far. Oh, I didn't strafe that one enough. Yeah, her thrusting attacks move her forward too much for me to be able to actually land a charge attack on. She is stepping forward more than my entire attack range. I think it's about 3 steps around her before before I am out of the way of the charge slash attack. It might be that I need to be taking a step while she is starting her attack. A delicate dance. Definitely didn't quite have enough time there. Ah. Oh, and she finished with a rifle shot, for good measure. I guess I had her just barely at the threshold where she can do that. Or that's a standard option she has. It's like positioning specific. I haven't seen her do that ending before. It's like after the charge double slash, go for a gunshot. Let's see. So I hit her with a fully charged attack there, but not in the back. I don't think that was quite because she had the chance to turn around. It seemed like it was because I didn't have the trajectory of my attack correct. Oh, that dodge, I don't know why it went that direction. I was mostly holding up on the dodge, but it dodged like out and to the left instead of forward. I don't know how that is supposed to... That doesn't make sense. Bloodborne lock-on is really weird. It's really weird. But it makes it a lot easier to strafe some of this stuff. And the boss is doing a bit too much for me to want to pivot between lock-on and lock-off. Honestly, like, I think hybrid locked-unlocked is the kind of thing... Bosses haven't been slow enough to allow me to make that decision since Dark Souls 1. I don't know if there's any kind of predictor for whether or not I can get off 1 or 2 slashes before she, like, blinks out. Okay, I guess I got the next phase. So I'm triggering... This is happening a little earlier than I thought it was initially. Yeah, that can't land where she first goes up. Oh, that corrected more than I thought. Okay, yeah. Well, I was hitting her at a decent rate in the second phase, but I'm not getting really good openings. And I don't expect she's going to have, like, a stagger or a break, because she didn't have a stagger for the first phase. And it's unusual for bosses to get, like, extra stagger behaviors. Unless they've, like, changed shape. Like, if she turned into a monster, I might expect her to stagger. I'm thinking that if I'm in the right spot for her big, like, charge setups... What? How did that hit? I'm gonna check that on the instant replay. Yeah, the fact that that first attack hit me is... I have no idea. It must have hit me during the start of my dodge roll, but the dodge roll was preserved. And then I took the damage when the dodge ended. Which is completely bizarre. Like, at what frame of a dodge attack do you decide that the player gets to keep moving but also take the hit? And the hit stun? All I want for Christmas is to consistently get 2 slashes on her between her attacks. I wasn't sure how big that was going to be. Okay, that's the same one that's been killing me. It starts from above her on her left with both swords. So she does a version of that attack with one sword that doesn't cover as much space or hit as hard. And I can dodge behind that pretty fine. It's possible that I might need to start dodging to the right of her for certain things, because I think dodging to the right of her for that attack might have gotten me through it with the proper timing. I think I got hit by the tail end of the attack. How many attacks could I dodge to the right of her instead? Is it something I can do universally? Sloppy. Oof, I was really worried that would be too early. Okay, so that attack, if I'm strafing to the right, it won't get me out of it for free. I need to actually dodge. I had no idea what was about to happen there. Okay. Top off. Ah, that still got me. It's very difficult for me to perceive the actual arc of that attack when she's in her hunched over EI stance. I don't want to play it as a getaway attack. I still want to play it as a stand behind her attack. Especially because that's worth like 4 hits if I dodge it correctly. I just can't quite tell what the actual angle of the attack is. It does look like it's set into an angle at the very beginning of the attack. I would think that it covers as much as 270 degrees. Nope. Now we've recovered. Okay, I was confused that she separated the blades and didn't instantly go for her phase 2. I'd like you to come more towards the center. I feel like I'll be better predisposed to like view and cope with your attacks in that case. That's big, but there's very little hitbox around her left shoulder for that attack. It starts low. I don't like this positioning at all. Whoa, that was weird. Yeah. I don't want her anywhere near those stairs if it's going to cause her to do something inconsistent. Let's go to where she was. Stay away from the walls, please. Let's fight in the center. Whew. I can get away from that with plenty of time. Heal up. I'm using a lot of blood vials because we're close to learning. Okay, that's the slap. That's the thrust. We do have the option of just staying away from those big attacks, but they are a key time to punish. Whew! About 3 back dodges and we out. I'm going to move away from that, whatever it is. It's a burst, so good call. I had no idea what was going to happen. Oh, that's new. Okay, so she's got a phase. She's got a phase 3. It's probably the same. It's just more punishing. It looks like it's the same. So yeah, phase 1 we can rotate left, including the trick weapon part of phase 1. Phase 2 we want to rotate to her right. No, to my right, her left. So we just need to do the opposite rotation. And we can also stall out on that phase and just focus on punishing big attacks. Phase 3, I think we want to continue with the rightward, but I can't say for certain. Okay. I was a little off on, like, getting that started. I couldn't get the right rhythm. Not quite. And I didn't want to burn, healing vials. I wasn't in the mood. I had plenty of time to stay out and use a vial. Okay. Let's see. Knowing about the third phase. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I need to change about how I'm handling this. Now, I notice her phase 2, her attacks appear largely uninterruptible. Oh, that hit. That's weird, because I've strafed that before. When you get down to it, the fight has a feel very similar to Frida from Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Ariandel. Ah, I didn't quite have the right distance. And it buffered a dodge, like, from downtown. Yeah, buffered that dodge. Oh my god, I can't get these buttons hit fast enough. There. Oh, need to leave for a sec. There. Oh, that turned her almost entirely around. Yeah, that was like a... that was a 180. Come on. Alright. It does appear that almost all of her attacks coming out of the, like, blood Eido have about the same timing. So it's possible that I just need to be dodging those. And I can maybe just dodge all of them and move on with my day. But yeah, don't get locked in a heal loop in her second phase. Oh my god, she's not going to let you do it. Or not her second phase, but her trick weapon phase. That was junk. Not only so that was like not only did not avoid the attack, I got instantly killed by like a clip in the back. Sometimes I really don't know what the damage mechanics are even supposed to be for this game. Okay, I'm going to do an experimental round where we check to see if she is vulnerable to rapid poison. Because we've got a very good rapid poison gem set. So I would like to see if that works. And we don't really have much in the way of varied damage types as opposed to Dark Souls 3, where it's like, oh, we can try a strat on fire, bolt, dark. Well, fire, bolt, dark, bleed, and poison are all viable in Dark Souls 3 SL1. In this, it's like fire, lightning, maybe poison, but so far not a single fight has really been a good case for poison. Yeah, we want dirty blood. Okay, so this is our rapid poison 23. We lose about like a lot of damage. We lose a lot of damage for this. But let's see what happens. Because I think we can hit the boss plenty often to get this started. And I want to see if this has any viability literally anywhere in the game. I was reading something that was saying that the living failures were susceptible to rapid poison, but I tried that for a round and I couldn't see that any damage numbers or anything like that. So I don't know how that's supposed to work on them. Alright, let's see how this goes. Yep, much lower printed damage numbers. That was a lovely little coincidence. Ouch. Okay, I didn't get the cadence quite right for the early part of that. So I mean, we're definitely doing less damage. I mean, that's obvious. I don't know whether or not we're getting close to a rapid poison trigger. I'll count the hits this time. Because I think if it takes more than 20 hits to trigger rapid poison, there's no way it's going to be viable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 21, 23, 'kay, so we're well past the 20. I'm trying to see if we're like occasionally getting a bonus damage shot or how this actually works. So sometimes it looks like we deal an extra 20 damage or so. So she stopped using a trick weapon, but didn't trigger the phase. I'm assuming that's because of slow damage on my part. Oh, there's an early dodge. Oh, that hit. That was very disorienting. I don't appreciate it. Ow. Okay, so she transitioned back, but she's still not in her phase. Oh, didn't slip through that correctly. And I got shot to death. Okay, so we hit her a lot, and I'm not seeing, like, necessarily a poison effect. So if it's working at all, then it works very differently from however poison works in Dark Souls 3, and I really don't know. It does look like occasionally we're hitting her for like 20 extra damage, because some of these attacks are doing more damage. But, I don't know what's up with that. So that was a nifty experiment. Yeah, because some of those attacks were hitting her for just like 115 or so. Yeah, that's a thing sometimes where poison doesn't work like poison. I was trying to think of a mechanical way to, like, capture that in Dungeons and Dragons. Because I find that in Dungeons and Dragons, poison damage does not feel like it is poison damage. And that's kind of lame. But every method I can think of to do actual damage over time with that is very bookkeepy. And oftentimes I find that I have other things to manage. Like I can't keep up with that while I'm doing other stuff. I don't want to slow down the combat so that I can figure out how to make that work. But yeah, it's very peculiar. Poison damage working as like occasionally deal extra damage. That doesn't make sense. You could say that about bleed damage as well in terms of Dark Souls. Okay, I could fit in a charge attack there, but it depleted enough of my stamina that I didn't have many options in terms of how I was going to defend. Ow. I didn't get my dodge out in time. Oh, yeah, you can't take all 3 of those hits, or you might die. I'm still trying to slip in, like, where the heck can I actually land a charged R2? And I can see that I can occasionally land charge R2s, but it's really inconsistent, and I just cannot get her to crumple. I think I can probably beat this boss on my own merits without necessarily looking at a guide, but once I have, I want to see what, like, optimized play for the boss looks like. There are some different strats that are used on bosses to beat them in some other challenge runs, where you limit yourself by not allowing yourself to roll or to run or things like that. Successful boss fights, like with those strats, turn out really pretty. Okay, that's good, because I needed to heal up. I want to walk her a bit more towards the middle. If she did the leap from this point, I'm not sure what I would do. Plenty of time to be able to make up for my bad dodge. Survived because I dodged through that. Okay, that has a range limit on it. We'll just dodge through that on timing. Just through that on timing, because I had no idea where it was actually going to go. And there's the phase 3. I'm going to shoot her a couple of times to make me feel better. I'd like to heal. Cool. Okay. That wasn't lethal. That had a follow-up. No! Okay, so her stab can have a follow-up in phase 3. Noted. It might be better to fight her unlocked in phase 3 actually, because she's doing those big attacks so aggressively, and a lot of those feel like they'd be easier to avoid unlocked. I think that's probably the way to do it. Getting low on blood vials. I have been slamming those guys. The blood vials, that is. Another little factoid is I can't run while I'm locked on. And I get the feeling some of these attacks, with the ground they're covering, would be easier to run out of. No, can't take that. I'm thinking I might try something a bit more aggressive in our earlier phases, where I go for one slash only every single time, and that might allow me to actually get off some preemptive attacks instead of dodging before every attack. Might speed up the fight. Let me see if I can get away with that. It might be way too greedy. But she doesn't really have poise on most of what she's doing. She's taking hit stun pretty actively. So I want to see if I can just kind of bully her around for the first phase at least. Ow. Okay, that was bad. That was just blatantly bad. Nothing for that. So the phase 3 where she adds the fire effect, it doesn't seem to me as though the part that is like that actually gets fiery is terribly consistent, which is a bummer. Like, her various attacks have different fire trails, but I can't tell how they work. And like, her stab is empowered with fire instead of having trailing fire. Yeah, so there's loosely an option to just follow her and get more damage in. It's a very roughly consistent type of thing to do. I have a bit of time to attack her when she does that transition. That was bad for my health, but it wasn't lethal, so we good. My second dodge didn't come out fast enough, which meant that my first dodge was just a mistake. Or I hesitated. I can't even tell which. This is a very stressful boss, I'll let you know. It's fun, though, because it's nice and snappy. I feel like I have a good degree of empowerment, but it's really tense once I get into the second phase. Like, bosses that do delayed attacks it's just a total power move. It's like, dodge this correctly or else. Yeah, that's the risk I run doing the really bullish strategy, where I follow her after a dodge and try to get extra hits. That time, she actually hit me because I went in for an attack too early, and it changed my hitbox. Whoops. She only barely like got the double blades out for phase 1. Didn't take a single gunshot. Okay, I was overeager on my dodges there. And then like that gets me to a point of second guessing. I don't know if her draw time on that is... It has some variance with per attack, I think. And I think that the slash there is the slowest thing she does. I can't really tell with any sense of consistency how her what's it called? How much she can pivot to release those attacks. It looks like the overhead slash might have very little pivot. Ouch. Oh, come on. I think that hit because my position relative to her at the time I started the dodge was a bit different, and I needed to commit in the other direction. Oh, okay, that one was, she went into a poised stance, so I tried to hit her in retaliation and get her into a stun. I was too far away, and she was in her poised stance, so that wasn't going to work. Let's see. So after today, I do want to get started up on Ruined King, maybe for Wednesday, but I need to take into consideration Christmas shopping and some other errand type of things. So I may be taking some days off in the near future from streaming. Yeah, I'm really not certain what things are going to look like. I need to get just a little bit of shopping done at this point. Whoops, that was a little comedy of errors. I took the Simo, and then I'm like, all right, if we hit simultaneously, let me try this. But then my dodge, when I wanted to get out of her patterns, went into her instead of around her. It's like slight analog input things. So yeah, we've got basically about 2 weeks till the big day. I'm taking care of a lot of Christmas gifts tonight. I've got most of my family scheduled because we're going. I'm taking them to an escape room as my gift. What's it called? Yeah, there's one in Leesburg that I wasn't aware of that I haven't been to, so that should be fun. Focusing on the boss fight instead of conversing with the stream. It's kind of a problem when you're doing these games that take a lot of focus. Cause I gotta stay in the rhythm of dodging the boss, or I might die. Even though I would totally love to tell you about my day and my future plans. Yeah, so I might take some time off to get some Christmas shopping done, and I don't know how consistent I'm going to be able to be. I want to start on Ruined King, because it looks super fun. Woo! I thought she was going to do something else. Getting intimidated for no reason. When there are perfectly good reasons to be intimidated. Nyeh. I'm like not trusting in my planning for the fight at certain points here. I'm like, okay, I've dodged around this without thinking about it before, and now that I'm thinking about it, it's terrifying. Ow. Oh, that's not lethal. Go figure. Sure, it's lethal in phase 3. Oh. Oh, that has a delayed splash hitbox. Now I know. Because I definitely dodged the initial hitbox from that and got killed by the splash. Okay, this is pretty close to the amount of time I had available, and I don't want to do another farming cycle. So we're going to be calling it here for tonight. Now, in terms of up and coming streams, I want to be on to stream on Wednesday. Um, I may not be able to if I am too busy. I cannot promise that I will be online to stream on Friday. If I am online to stream on Friday, I'm probably not going to be playing Dead by Daylight. I'm just kind of frustrated with the game right now, and not for any like particular reason. I just think that the direction the devs are taking the game and some of the stuff they've done recently um, does not appeal to my sensibilities. I think the devs are just making some really questionable decisions, um, and I'm just not in the mood to deal with it. So for Friday, if I'm online for Friday, I'll either be playing 7 Days to Die or Bloodborne. And 7 Days to Die is just going to be real casual. I might even just play more Ruined King if I turn that on Wednesday, and it seems super fun. But, we'll see how it goes. Anywho, thank you for joining. This has been Jupiter Exile. Hope you'll wander with me again soon. Let me see who is doing some streaming in the category, and I will send you off to raid somebody. Let's just take a quick look on Twitch. Let's see, I might send you over if somebody else cool is doing stuff. I mean, Ottsdarva's online, but he's big. I've got a couple of buddies who, it appears, are doing Endwalker right now in Final Fantasy XIV. I hope they're having fun. I'm glad to be out of Final Fantasy XIV, though. Let's just check the Bloodborne category. Okay, let's see. We've got somebody doing all bosses unrestricted. It's a glitch run. Somebody is doing a hitless run. Is anybody else doing a BL4 run, the same restriction that I'm doing? Bloodborne. Oh, well, there's me. I'm not too far down on the Bloodborne page. I'm pretty low on the Bloodborne page. Okay, I'm going to send you over to this hitless percent run by Shio? C-S-C-H-I-Y-O. Let's go for it. and I'll be along with you for the raid for maybe about 10 minutes while I'm getting ready to go to dinner.